Hello, I'm Dr. Michelle Robertson. I work at Liberty Mutual Research Institute for Safety. I went to my undergraduate at the University of California at Santa Barbara. I majored in human factors and ergonomics. So my four-year degree really set me up for the rest of my career of understanding the fundamentals of human factors in engineering and design and ergonomics. I have a really strong background in physiology and looking at that in the interaction of how we design workplaces so that we can reduce injuries as well as improve productivity and performance. When I was looking through the catalogs, I was always interested in health physiology, and when I read the catalog description at UC Santa Barbara, it pulled together all the areas of interest I had: physiology, engineering, and psychology. And it was interesting to see that they actually had a degree that was interdisciplinary and allowed you to say, hey, how do people work safely in a work environment? What are the physiological loads? What are the cognitive loads? And then how do we bring the engineering into it? And then after I received my bachelor's, I was recruited down to the University of Southern California to earn my master's degree. And this was at that time I double majored in human factors as well as management, because having worked in the real world, I understood managers were the decision makers. And so in order to bring in that productivity and performance area and why we should redesign or design something that fit people so that they can work safely, I needed to understand the management language. And so this is when I got my management degree, and then I was hired on as a teaching assistant and research assistant, and then ended up becoming part of the faculty where I taught managers about the importance of human factors design and ergonomics. It's been invaluable, bringing together the educational background, working with an interdisciplinary faculty when I was at the University of Southern California, brought in a different perspective, that there was risk management areas, there was psychology. It reemphasized this interdisciplinary nature, the tools of how we approach the design. One area that I really embarked on was looking at participatory approaches to designing workplaces and how we get employees involved to potentially come together and propose to managers in a systematic manner what some solutions could be. And this was important because I saw the power of when teams got together and that they would come up with very creative, insightful solutions. But yet at the same time, we needed to pull management in to understand that when the employees were coming back with some of these solutions, that management was supportive of this. So this is where I understood and appreciated the systems approach. And if we take that systems approach, look at the synergy of all those different parts, and that's where the whole is very important, more than the sum of just the individual parts. And that philosophy and that teaching has really set me up. And so my research has always been addressing and recognizing the systems approach, the concepts, and how we bring together that interdisciplinary nature. So employees are involved, managers are involved, and that they all are working together and see the big picture to solve those workplace issues. I think two important things that we looked at in the keynote is that you can design a wonderful ergonomic environment, but if you do not couple it and link it with training, so people need to balance, okay, this is my new work environment, how do I use it effectively? And so linking the design and the training together is important. However, training does not overcome poor design. So this is again the importance of making sure that you have an ergonomically sound work environment, you train individuals on it, and then the third part that I was really pulling together is the systems approach, that you have the management commitment, active management commitment, and you can use the training as the catalyst to bring that message forward. So here we've spent time and money to redesign a new work environment, whether it's an office environment or a manufacturing environment, pulling together that commitment and what that message is, having the employees part of the solution, having management impart some of the empowerment that employees understand, why they're working this way, and the training is that catalyst to kind of pull that together. As ergonomists and human factors engineering designers, we are sort of the liaison between that. And so with my keynote, those were the three important issues. One is looking at the systems approach. One is bringing in what we were calling environmental and job control, that if people understand why and how they should be working, and they're giving management the permission. Management is giving them the permission in order to actually exert control over that. They're supportive of supervisors, they're responsive to the ergonomic needs are all important. And then lastly is that training part kind of brings that glue together. I think the most important is to remember that all jobs happen within a context. You need to understand that organizational context, understand the corporate goals, their philosophy, their values, and understand the outcomes of the organization, and start bringing it inward to the design of the technology, to the design of training systems, to the design of the physical work environment, how teams and individuals work together. And that's that systematic approach, that holistic approach that we need to bring forward. So again, you can look at the individual level, but you also need to move out from the team level to the organizational level. Does the organization, corporate goals align well with the design of the technology, align well with the training systems of how you're going to impart knowledge on individuals so that they can do their job?